Strong, strong families, yeah. Good friends. Strong families.
Hello and welcome to Good Friends, Strong Families, the podcast where every episode equips you with a new skill, surrounds you with support, and provides actionable steps you can immediately implement in your family life. I'm Angela, and I'm joined by my co-host, Anna. In today's episode, we'll delve into the heart of family dinners. I like this, taking them from mundane to magical. Which is really funny because if you've ever eaten my cooking, you would never call it magic. I like need magic to make them magical. Okay. In any case, today we're going to talk about how to infuse them with meaning. Here's the thing about family dinners. We want to spark them with rich conversation. This gives us an opportunity to strengthen our ties as a family, really bind us together so that we're really well equipped. So we're going to break down today the what, the why, the how, so that at the end of today, you're going to be really ready to nurture those tightly knit families using something we do every day, which is eat.
Yes.
Welcome.
I feel like people, I don't know. I guess did you grow up with family dinners?
We did have family dinners on Sundays, I think. And I do remember my, parents were divorced. And so my mom did one kind of thing and my dad did another kind of thing. So we did, though, eat a lot of TV dinners. Yeah.
Like actual TV dinners or
actual
TV or both?
Both. Both. And it's funny because I had friends that would be like, oh my gosh, I really wish I had a TV dinner. And we were like,
I was one of
those
those
all the
kids.
time.
I was one of those kids. I wanted the nasty little brownie.
Okay, strangely, what I love, this is super weird, and I'm so sorry I'm admitting this out loud. My favorite TV dinner was the Salisbury steak, which was like, it's probably like a burger patty with like a brown sauce on it. Right. It was my favorite. Yeah, and we definitely ate them on actual metal TV trays in front of the TV.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it like a fun for yourself? Everybody went, like you made it yourself when you were ready, or were you all together?
No, we were never. We're rarely all together. We were super loud.
I knew there was eating. You would just go in there and
figure
figure it out. But you had Sunday dinners, you said?
Yeah, we did. Like at my dad's house, my dad and stepmom always made a Sunday dinner, so that was nice. And my mom did cook. She did some cooking. And so she would like leave leftovers kind of thing. She worked a lot. We literally were home alone most of our growing up lives.
I definitely remember family dinners. I don't, obviously, like as we got older, sports, work, we were always there together.
Yeah.
But my mom definitely cooked the majority of the time, especially like when I was younger growing up and stuff. And so I can literally picture our house and our little circular table, and I can picture like the common dinners and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of old fashioned even now, right?
That's kind of like, I don't really remember anything beyond like I don't remember like conversation. My dad probably had like sports on in the background.
Oh yeah.
That kind of thing. And so
I could see that.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that we want to take that, whatever you started with, whatever was your normal, whether society calls it normal or not, that's irrelevant. Your normal growing up, and then look at your normal now as a family.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, we want to take it from mundane to magical. So how can we take what we've experienced or what we're currently experiencing and improve upon it? Right? And so what makes you got food in your body? What makes that different than having a, quote, family dinner, family meal? What makes that magical? How do we make it magical?
And I think this is a really good conversation, because when you think about like what's the big deal of family dinners, I always remember when I first started working in prevention, this was like revolutionary. I remember when the research came out about how to have family dinners that would impact your kids. And there was this big research study, and basically what they said is like, if you eat 5 times or more a week, they could measure that families that did that, ate dinner together 5 times or more a week, that their kids were more likely to come out with like those really strong, healthy attributes, less likely to engage in risky behaviors, more likely to do well in school, blah, blah, blah. And it's such a weird thing because this is it's basic, right? Like,
Right.
Are we eating or are we not? But there were definitely some key things like it didn't have to be like fancy meals, like sitting around a circle table or whatever, but it was like being together, focused only on one another and like making it a time where you are together and make this a thing.
Right. Right. So like you growing up, you ate whenever you were home and whenever you could. Your siblings probably did the same thing. Your mom probably did the same thing. I remember, dinner's ready, coming downstairs. But I don't remember beyond that. And so, or like I remember the TV being on or whatever. And nowadays, the biggest obstacle, aside from
my God,
right, whatever, but it's probably technology. Everybody's got a phone or some sort of device that they are constantly on. And so that is probably one of the biggest keys that we would like really, really encourage. I remember a couple years ago, within the last 5 years, because it was after we moved to our current house, and we went to a local like neighborhood restaurant, and they were doing a challenge. I think they called it like the Red Basket Challenge. And it was like if everybody, you had to agree to it. Like they didn't force this upon you, but they put a red basket in the middle of the table and they said, okay, if everybody puts their cell phone in the basket and nobody touches it, you get like a free cookie or a free dessert.
Oh, I like that.
And I'm sure think about it. How many times do you sit in a restaurant and like, you're like there with people, right? Like, I think that's like one of the biggest things, like with connection. And, like you're like, I'm always with my family, or I see my family every day, but just like seeing them isn't the same as connecting to them.
That's exactly.
And so like you could be at the table with everybody in your family, but you're not necessarily connecting just because you're sharing a meal. Really, it's like the community of
right.
it. So like we're communing with one another. We're sharing our time. We're sharing our day. We're sharing our lives. And yes, we're sharing a meal. And like the meal can really be the catalyst, right?
Yeah.
And so I love the like study that we've learned about over the years. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah, I like this study. So they did this study about what made people happy. And basically what they did was they took 1,000 volunteers and they had to wear pagers. Remember those? So they had to wear pagers. And when the pager buzzed, they had to record what they were doing and then say like on a level, I don't know exactly what it was, but like, how happy are you? And it turned out that people that at the time it buzzed, if they were eating a meal together with family or friends, they actually recorded themselves as being the most happy of all the other times that they got buzzed.
Yeah, I love that.
Big deal.
I love that. And I think, I don't know, maybe you have more memories of like holidays or like special occasions, but like we have the opportunity.
Oh my gosh.
Every day. Potentially more than once a day, depending on what your age, your children's and your lifestyle is, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously we have the opportunity so many times daily or weekly to do something where we're connecting with our families and it's making them happier.
Yeah.
Like that's huge. And I mean, so many times like people say like, what do you want for your kids? I don't want them to die. The answer's going to be like, I want my kid to be happy. What do you want your kid to be when they grow up? Happy.
Happy.
Right?
How can you do that? Eat dinner together. And
we can eat dinner together. Maybe you need to implement the Red Basket Challenge, right? Maybe we need to say like, hey, we know we haven't really been doing this, but like, we want to connect with you. You've been at school, we've been at work, whatever the case may be. And like you said, like, yes, ideally we would do this every day or 5 days a week, but like, if that's not where you're at, like look at your schedule, look at your life and say like, when can we do this? When can we make this a priority? Maybe it is only Sunday dinners, right? Maybe it's Saturday breakfast.
Yeah.
Maybe it's whatever, like after school snack, like whenever you have that time. And if one of your family members can't be there, like don't throw it away. No. Don't say like, oh, well, we can't all be here. Like, no, like make it something that like they want to be there for.
Okay, and I'm also going to say, so I'm thinking about like feasibility, right? So we're also family coaches. And so we're also parents, and we get like having teenagers, they're going to be like, oh, heck no. You know what I mean? Like, so I think the other thing to remind our friends is that this is not going to be met with like, they're not going to be throwing flowers and dancing around that we decided to do this. And so there are going to be these changes that we know that we're making them, and they are going to strengthen our family. But sometimes it means that we have to be brave and push through when they push back.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not just about like, here's the red basket. It's a challenge. It also can turn into a rule.
Right. Well, and start with like, if you need to incentivize, go ahead and incentivize.
Feel free.
But include your kids again, like based on the ages, but like ask them what they would like. When was the last time you asked your kid what they want for dinner?
That's
like if that's not something that you normally do, like
get up right into the table.
I know it's been a long time since I've had time to cook, but like I really want to like share a meal with you. What would you like me to make?
Literally, my kids would be like, "Don't cook."
No. Okay. What do you want to learn how to cook?
Oh, that's
when you're out on your own. I have 3 teenagers, and so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, hey, if and when you move out someday, what's something that you're going to want to be able to cook for yourself?
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Okay, so let's make that.
Yeah, that's like a little added bonus.
Or if they're really committed to like they don't like not having their phone, like say, okay, well, we're going to do like a challenge. Can you put it aside for a meal?
Yeah,
and then we'll go out for ice cream, or we'll make cookies, or whatever, but like find something to draw them in, and also kind of put your foot down.
Okay, now I'm gonna up the ante here, because one of the things that happens, and I know you and I both know this, every family is gonna say that's true. We talk about this a lot. Like, our kids don't necessarily know how to have good conversations, and we forget how. Like, I remember, how was your day? Good, and so we do. There is something that we actually I'll often talk about, which we call a conversation jar.
Yeah.
Have you guys done that? So you build a
definitely
jar.
Started.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
especially when they were younger.
Yeah, and it wasn't that like we didn't eat together, but we definitely were probably like filled with distractions, whether it was the TV or I don't know, phones, whatever, right? Like, so we definitely, it was like that awkward, like, parents, like your kids get home from school and you go, what'd you learn today? And they're like, nothing,
How was class? Fine.
So we get that, like, you kind of have to break through that. And like now, we don't really need it. Now I'm kind of like, oh, okay, like, have we gotten complacent? But okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the conversation jar, like if you're trying to implement this newfound thing, family dinners, and you want it to be meaningful, a conversation jar, depending on your kids, you can let them be creative. You can let them paint, decorate, whatever container, right?
Yeah.
We do have a resource with some conversation starters. So like a list of questions, and you can print that out and then cut it up, and you have these little slips. And so my youngest was definitely loved pulling the slip and asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really fun. And depending on my husband's work schedule, he wasn't always there. But sometimes it was like a question just for the parents, or sometimes it was a question just for the kids. Sometimes it was a question for anybody. So it could be like, what's your favorite dessert? What's your favorite food? What did you want to be when you were a kid?
My favorite question was, in the story of your life, who would play you in the movie? I thought that was really good. But I mean, honestly, even if you don't get our research, you can Google,
So essentially, like, and you could do this a number of different ways, depending on like how many slips you've got started with, and how many kids you have, and how, if it really does take the conversation and get it going, you could do like one slip per meal, and your kids can take turns, or you could let them each pull a slip every meal.
Yeah,
it's totally up to you, but it's just an idea, and it really can kind of start the conversation if that's something that you're struggling with. And I think sometimes like, we don't want to grill, or we don't want to ask those questions where we're getting one word answers. We want a conversation, and we want them to like ask us questions, and we don't want it to feel like an interrogation. We want it to be a conversation.
Yes, and in the beginning, I think I know I keep driving this point home. In the beginning, they're not going to be, some kids, especially kids that have been like, they're dying.
We don't want to be like doom and gloom here.
Right, exactly. But some kids are going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the best day of my life. Are you kidding? My mother's looking at me, and asking me these questions. I've been waiting all along. But we also know that when we've struggled, we've had to push through some of the, in particular for our kids, because you and I are both family coaches. So we also coach other families and we do the different strategies. And so sometimes our kids would be like, oh, thanks a lot for bringing the conversation jar back or whatever that skill is. Like, would you just read that in the curriculum again? You know what I mean? And so it's a little bit harder. But for all of us, just an encouragement that when we think about trying these things, so just let's recap. So eat family meals together as often as you can. Doesn't matter which one. Yeah. But get it in there. Try and get 5 times a week where you're all sitting.
And look at your schedule. Like, look at your schedule, plan it ahead and say like, oh, I see that you've got practice here. So we're going to have an early dinner so we can eat together.
Yes.
Or whatever. Like, look at your schedule and say like, okay, we can definitely do it Monday, Thursday, Saturday.
You know, when we used to do sports with the kids, you know what we used to do? We would actually because we're out, it's like takeout. We're like taking out on the way to the field. So you know what we do? We'd grab a tablecloth, keep it in the car, and then we would go to the other side of the park. We'd go early. And then we'd sit for our family dinner for 20, 25 minutes while we're eating our takeout.
Yeah.
I mean, you just do this anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if that night doesn't call for a home cooked meal, that doesn't mean you throw the whole dinner away.
Nope.
You still use the opportunity to connect. So
dinners 5 times or meals 5 times a week. Get rid of those distractions.
Whatever your distractions are for your family,
get rid of the phones.
Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Make eye contact. Talk.
And then the third one is do some kind of an activity, conversation jar, start chatting, whatever. You know, one of the ones that we've done is like pluses and wishes. Like this was the great thing that happened today. I wish this had happened today.
Yeah, like I know some people will do like high-low. Like what was the high of your day? What was the low of your day?
Yes, exactly.
There's another one too, but I can't. It's thorns and roses or something like that. Yeah.
So all those are the same ideas. But then the final thing, friends, we just want to leave you with this is have grace for yourself. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with a friend. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on today's topic. Join the conversation on Instagram. Until next time, keep nurturing those family connections and remember, you are surrounded by support.